Hello guys, this is Eric Eric the Train Fan 148 here, and we are going to be, and I'm in Emeryville, California, and we're excited because this is going to be my first trip on Amtrak's famous California Zephyr. We're going to be going to Denver, Colorado, and it's morning time in Emeryville. And yep, I'm so excited for this. I've been wanting to go on this train for ages, and now I'm going to get the chance. And here's my mom. My mom's with me too. So I'll see you when the Zephyr arrives. All right, guys, here comes the Zephyr pulling into the station. Oh, yes, Mom. Right. P42s, 28, and 82. Alright guys, we're gonna get on board the train and I'll see you on board.
The California Zephyr is considered by a lot of riders on Amtrak to be one of Amtrak's best Amtrak routes. The California Zephyr runs daily between Chicago and San Francisco.
Alright guys, we are on board the Zephyr, and we are traveling through San Pablo Bay. I'm gonna get a look out the windows right there. You can see it. Look at it right there. It looks so beautiful. Doesn't that look pretty or what?
Very pretty.
Yeah. We're now only going 44 miles per hour. Yeah. There's the two P40s, 28 and 82.
Sleeper agenda 32 car 12, row 12 showed up.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end this video so I can take some pictures of the scenery, and I'll see you all when we pass through Sacramento.
Me and my mom were taking the California Zephyr to Denver as our early summer vacation, as we wanted to go see some new scenery in Denver. This was my first time traveling on the California Zephyr, and I was willing to go on this train for ages, and this train trip was also on my bucket list. We boarded the train at Emeryville, and we were in a sleeping car, and we were in room at number 10 on one of the sleeping cars with Mike as our sleeping car attendant. Leaving Emeryville, we traveled through the shores of San Pablo Bay that travels between Emeryville and Martinez as we headed towards Sacramento, California. Soon, we made our next passenger stop in Martinez, where we picked up a few more passengers. After that, we crossed the Suisun Bay on the Martinez Bridge that took us towards Sacramento. Along the way to Denver, major stops our train would make would include Sacramento, California, Truckee, California, Reno and Winnemucca, Nevada, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Grand Junction in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. The major highlights along this trip would include the Sierra Nevada Mountains and Donner Pass in Truckee, California, the Book Cliffs of Utah, and the Ruby Canyon in Colorado, and the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. The total route length between Emeryville and Chicago for the Zephyr is 2,438 miles, which means the train would take 2 days to travel in between Chicago and Emeryville. That means it would take 2 nights and 2 more days. Or 3 if you want to count the eastbound trip. After crossing Suisun Bay, we soon arrived in the California state capital of Sacramento. This is where our train stopped to let us take our first fresh air break. On Amtrak long-distance routes, it's common for trains to stop to let passengers take a fresh air break. After stopping in Sacramento, our train continued heading eastbound, and me and my mom's new rail mileage began just outside the station as we were now heading towards Roseville. Soon afterwards, we headed off to the dining car for our first meal of the trip, which was lunch.
Hello, guys. We are now in the dining car cruising through Northern California, where it's lunchtime, and look what I'm having. Beef burger. So good. And my mom's having the same thing too. So yep, it's lunchtime and it's first come, first served on this train.
Maybe show them some of the scenery instead of you chewing. What do you think?
Yeah,
I was actually going to do that
So right now we are cruising just west of Auburn, heading towards Colfax, and then we're going to be traveling through the Sierra Nevadas and Donner Pass in California. Then we'll be heading towards Nevada.
Very pretty out here.
Yep.
Now what time it is? 12 o'clock?
It is 12:30, and yep.
Midday?
Yep.
Oh, so there's no truck on.
Yep, we actually we're following that. And there you can see the front of our train, P42s, 28 and 82, working hard to exit our train over the grades and through this forest area. So really nice, such a nice tranquility. All right, guys, well, I will see you when we get to Donner Pass, so stay tuned.
After lunch, we head back to our rooms and we stopped in the city of Colfax. After that, our train climbed the grade and we started climbing towards the Sierra Nevada mountains and Donner Pass as we headed towards our next stop, Truckee, California. Now I will show you some views of the lovely scenery we took in as we headed towards Truckee.
All right, guys, we had just gone through Donner Pass, and we are now passing through Soda Springs, and we're gonna go through the Big Hole Tunnel, which is a 2-mile long tunnel. No, we are at more than 6,000 feet above sea level, and after that tunnel, we will be stopping in Truckee and continuing on to Reno, Nevada. So get ready when we get through. So we're gonna be entering that tunnel soon, so get ready for the long trip through that tunnel. And we are in the tunnel. All right, so this is the inside of our train right here in the dark.
Yep.
Oh, and also look, the inside of our these things that have the emergency things, they even glow in the dark too because they're white.
Yeah, we remember that from the other one.
Oh yeah, like from the Coast Starlight. In fact, actually, guys, we even took the Coast Starlight light to connect with the California Zephyr from Los Angeles because we were originally going to fly, but unfortunately we were afraid that our flight would be canceled because there were several cancellations that have been going on as of now. But we got to take business class and we got to see some scenery that I haven't seen since me and my mom took the Coast Starlight to Portland back in 2014. All right, I'm keeping the phone towards the tunnel. So we've been in the tunnel for 2 minutes. Wonder when we will see light again. Not terribly long. Oh, I can see some things moving in the tunnel. What's wrong?
just trying to think of all these people, so maybe you won't even know.
You're on Facebook or something?
No, I'm on my phone going, maybe not these people. You know, it's orange.
Okay. All I can see is that I can clearly see the sides of the tunnel.
All right,
Well, that was just a passenger passing, a fellow passenger passing. Oh, and we're out of the tunnel. Man, we were in that tunnel for 4 minutes. All right, guys, we are going to continue on towards Truckee, and then we will be in Nevada. So I'm going to take a quick video in Truckee, and I'll see you all in Reno.
As our train continued cruising through the Sierra Nevadas, I decided to go to the rear of the train to see if I can get a view from the rear, and sure enough, I was able to. It was really cool to take a view from the back of the train. In fact, this was actually my first time trying to get a view or a picture or video from the back of the train. After traveling through Donner Lake and through the Sierra Nevadas, our train descended down the grade, and we soon arrived at our next stop, Truckee, which would also be our last stop in the state of California. Truckee is a short little town that is located near Nevada, which would be our next stop. After picking up a few more passengers and dropping some off, we continued heading up we followed the Truckee River to Nevada, which was our next state. Soon, we arrived at our next stop in Reno, Nevada. Reno is like a smaller version of Las Vegas. It is known as the biggest little city in the world, known for its shiny neon lights and casinos. We took a fresh air break there while our train stopped for a crew change. After that, we continued heading through Nevada and through the deserts. Soon, evening was settling in, and we were soon off to the dining car for dinner.
All right, guys, it is time for me to have my appetizer. It is the cheese tamale. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna pick my entree, but let me. Pretty good. A little bit spicy, but it's definitely worth it.
Of course, since we got there early, 47 minutes.
Really good. All right, guys, it's time for dinner, and I got the Amtrak signature flat iron steak. I got baked potato, green beans, and carrots. All right, it's time to eat, and let's see how this food is.
My mom took this video of me eating, as I could not eat and record the video while holding the phone at the same time.
Good.
Okay. Oh, you have sour cream for your potato. Here you go.
How long have you wanted to do that for? I mean, have you always? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is that a thumb up, Eric? Let's see the thumb up.
Definitely a thumbs up.
All right. So am I done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
While we were having dinner, our train made another passenger stop in Winnemucca. Soon, the sun was slowly setting the distance, and it was time to get ready for bed.
All right, guys, it is almost time for bed, and our car attendant Mike is preparing our bedroom.
That's mine, yep. That sweatshirt, yep. Wrong way. Sorry. No worries. My purse should be hanging up too in there somewhere. They did a great job of making like little places to hang up and do all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Smart engineer.
Yeah, indeed.
After their room was made, me and my mom sat down and watched a movie on my phone. During the movie, however, we made a stop at Elko. Here, however, we were told that we were stopping here for a few hours because of a disabled freight train that was blocking the tracks ahead. So therefore, we couldn't move until that train was cleared and moving again. We were told that this would hold our train up for several hours, but we weren't that concerned. I got off the train for a few minutes, and after giving my legs a good stretch, I decided to climb back on board and get ready for the night. I had to go upstairs to the second floor, which was where our room was.
All right, guys, so that was our first day on the Zephyr. It was a fantastic one. We are right now in Elko, Nevada. We are going to be here. I heard from the conductor that we are going to be here for like another hour or so because we've been here for the past like 40 minutes. We're going to be here for like another hour or so because there's some freight trains up ahead. So we're going to be, during the night, we're going to be going on to Salt Lake City, Utah. And then we're going to be in Provo, and then we're going to be in Utah by tomorrow morning. Ready for my our night on the train, and yep, our bed's all made up, and we just finished watching a movie, and we're getting ready for the night. All right, guys, I will see you in Utah tomorrow morning. Good morning, and happy travel. All right, and I'll see you next morning.
The next morning.
Alright, guys, right now, I just woke up, and I slept pretty good. I checked out the window, and apparently we're still in Nevada. We're getting close to Utah. We were held up because of a disabled freight train, but looks like we're going to be in Salt Lake City this morning. So isn't that a great thing? So I actually am getting to see scenery that I wasn't expecting to see today. All right, guys, I'm gonna go downstairs and get myself ready, and then it's off to breakfast for me. All right, I'll see you then.
After a nice refreshing shower and brushing my teeth, me and my mom headed off to the dining car.
All right, guys, we are in the dining car, and it's time for breakfast. And look what I'm having. Railroad French toast with strawberries and blueberries and pork sausage. So I'm gonna start eating.
One guy at the show that he had a Scottish layout of trains. And he had Scottish castles, snow scenes, a train that weave around the castle.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. Definitely recommend it.
Okay.
The one that they have in Fullerton. which is like the stop before Anaheim, before Disney is just amazing. They haven't done it in a while. They have so many. They have a giant. Like, what is the biggest? HO the biggest. I think something like that. And it's just giant. I mean, and you know, you can't. Of course, they have kids. You know, the young kids that always want to touch it. And nowadays, the parents just like, oh, you know, not paying attention to their kids. Oh, he's just so silly. Or he's destroying, you know, destroying some guy's layout that he spent, you know, 3 hours on.
Really good. Definitely recommend it.
After breakfast was over, we made a stop in a place called Wendover, Utah. We had to stop here because our crew of our train exceeded their duty time and we had to wait until a new one was dispatched.
All right, guys, we are now in Salt Lake City, Utah. It actually turns out our train had to stop because of a crew change that actually took place really early back in back from the starting point where we were at that plant where you saw those UP freight action. That was because of the regulations. So, oh my God, we're running 7.5 hours late. Oh boy. Hopefully we can make it to Denver before midnight. If not, I'm probably gonna have to take a nap before napping. And I just hope we get to the Rocky Mountains before sundown.
Me too.
But well, according to my phone, I checked those sunset time for one of our stops, Winter Park, and it said that the sun's gonna set by 8:30. So we might get some bit of light before when we pass through the Rockies, which is actually a good relief thing for me because I've been dying to see this mountain since the beginning of this trip. Now that right there is the line for Salt Lake City Central, the commuter rail, and yep. So we're at Salt Lake City, and man, look at it. It's the capital and largest city of Utah, and there's snow in the mountains. I wonder what side we're gonna be on. Oh, apparently we're gonna be on this side, or maybe if there's another platform on the other side. Oh, Rio Grande sign on a building. Oh, there's the State Capitol Dome building. Well, because our crew change took a little early, I'm wondering if our stop here may last a little bit shorter. And if that's the case, we might make up a minute or so. No. All right, we're gonna get off, and I'll see you when we're outside. All right, guys, we are at Salt Lake City. Me and my mom just got for a little walk. We're going to hop back on board in just a little bit. Let's just give our legs a little bit more of a stretch, and we'll be hopping back on board. Our next stop is going to be Provo, and then we're going to be traveling through onward to Helper, and then after Helper, we'll be traveling through Book Cliffs to Green River. I think we're about like 400 or 500 miles from Denver. Oh, I'm not sure. Let me look that up for just a big sec. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I just figured out we are 570 miles from Denver, Colorado, and we are almost done with our service team, so we'll hop back on board and I'll catch you when we continue through Utah.
Yeah, me and my mom were not that very happy about the time of our arrival in Denver. But since this was our first trip on the California Zephyr, I did not want to let that ruin my enjoyment of this trip. Soon, we departed Salt Lake City and we continued heading through Utah. Soon afterwards, I was in the dining car for lunch while my mom passed out because she was still full from breakfast. We traveled through some beautiful, lovely canyons in Utah as we continued onwards.
Okay, guys, we are now south of Salt Lake City, and we are passing through a really nice, lovely-looking valley right there. And I'm having lunch. I'm having the artisan grilled cheese with it is oven roasted turkey with bacon and cheddar cheeses and provolone on hickory smoked onion bread. It's really good.
We had 150 miles.
I also got some chips right here, potato chips with me. Really good.
No.
Oh, looks like we're gonna enter some tunnels. Oh, my mom's passing out on lunch right now because she's still full from breakfast.
Oh, ATV.
We're just sitting and watching the train. See up on the hill?
Oh, let's see. Sorry, there were some seatmates with me. They were pointing out there was a 4x4 right there. All right, we're gonna go through the tunnel. Another tunnel. Really good. Back in fresh air again.
Tried the burgers.
I had one yesterday. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we are continuing on through Utah, and I'm gonna take more pictures along the way, and I'll see you when we get to Book Cliffs and Green River, and after that, we'll be in Colorado. However, unfortunately, we may not be able to see the Rocky Mountains because our estimated time we're about Winter Park, which is near Denver, is about after sundown. So I'm not gonna be too thrilled about that, but there's nothing we can do about it. All right, I'll see you back. See you soon.
Soon afterwards, our train slowly began to climb a grade as we headed towards the hills. Traveling through the scenery kind of reminded me of traveling on Cajon Pass on Amtrak Southwest Chief, which is another long-distance Amtrak route I've taken on and is probably my favorite Amtrak route. Soon after, me and my mom went to the lounge car to relax and watch beautiful scenery of Utah fly by our windows. It was actually really great that I got to see this scenery that I wasn't expecting I was going to see. Soon after, we stopped in the city of Helper, Utah, which also serves the city of Price, located further south. We soon entered the Utah deserts as we continued towards Green River, Utah. I even saw beautiful cliffs, including the famous Book Cliffs in Utah. After stopping at Green River, our train continued onwards, but we had to stop yet again to allow another crew change to take place, as this crew also exceeded their duty time.
All right, guys, we are now going to enter Colorado, and we are following the Colorado River. Yeah, man, I'm sure you're wondering, why are your train running so late? Well, unfortunately, we experienced one too many delays, and I'm just so annoyed with them, right? I'm just so tired of them right now. But we're gonna try our hardest to get into Denver. But right now we're actually we're settling down for dinner, and right now we are gonna be passing through Ruby Canyon in Colorado, and I'll show you views of that as soon as we enter, which we'll be entering in a few minutes.
Soon we traveled through Ruby Canyon. This was one of the highlights of the Zephyr that I was actually looking forward to seeing, and I was actually glad I was getting to see this because the sun was going down. But unfortunately, my chances of seeing the Colorado Rockies on the eastbound trip were slim. But the good news is, I'm got the chance to see it as me and my mom are taking the westbound Zephyr back home after our vacation in Denver was done.
All right, guys, we are cruising through Ruby Canyon, Colorado, and it's dinner time. I'm having fish, salmon with rice, green beans, and carrots. I just finished eating all my carrots, cooked carrots. My mom is having the steak and with cheese polenta. Polenta. Interesting. Maybe we can try that on the way back. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Alright guys, well, I'll probably see you when we get to Grand Junction for our final, what will be probably our final fresh air break for this trip, because it's going to be dark when we get to Glenwood Springs. Alright, well, bye guys, see you soon. Hey Mom, here comes Amtrak's westbound Zephyr. Look right there, look here, there it is.
Alright folks, my name's Dr. Chris. I'm going to be with you from Grand Junction here to Denver.
83,
we're pulling up now. Train
43.
pulling out of the station. I'm going to back into the station and you guys get on the train.
Fun fact, the locomotive that you're seeing in the picture right here is the sister locomotive of one of our engines that is on the train. After letting the westbound Zephyr clear the way, our train backed into Grand Junction, and this will be our final fresh air stop on our trip.
All right, guys, we are in Grand Junction, Colorado, and take a look at what we got here. We found a vending machine here, and they have snacks and beverages that you can't get on the train. Look what I got. I got a chocolate bar, I got pretzels, my mom got a crossword book, and I even got 2 refreshments, cherry Coca-Cola and vitamin water. Isn't it great? You can actually get this stuff on your train trip. How wonderful is that?
Thank you. Good day.
All right, we're gonna purchase our stuff, and then we're gonna hop back on board. This will be our last fresh air stop for the night, for the day.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bazooka, bazooka, bubblegum.
No, I do not have bazooka.
No, I was just making up. I was just sorry. It's okay, no worries.
After our fresh air stop was done, we hopped back on board the train for the final time. We continued traveling through some of the Rockies between Grand Junction and Glenwood Springs as the sun was setting. I checked the time for arrival in Denver, Colorado, and it soon turned out that we would be arriving there at least 2 or 3 p.m. Because of that, me and my mom decided to get some sleep before we arrived.
All right, guys, we are now we had just left Grand Junction and we are traveling through Glenwood Springs. It has been a really fantastic trip on the Zephyr. In a couple hours, we're going to be in Denver, Colorado, but we're going to ride there really late, so I'm going to turn in for the night and try to catch a couple hours of sleep, and I'm going to wake up when we get there. All right, so I'll see you all tomorrow when we get to Denver, and I'm going to catch a few Z's, and I'll see you then.
As me and my mom slept through the night, our train continued on through the Rocky Mountains and through the Continental Divide and Moffett Tunnel, which is actually our longest tunnel and the high point of our trip.
All right, good morning, guys. We are now in Denver, Colorado. It is almost 3:30 in the morning. Oh my God. It's actually pretty crazy, but me and Mom were able to get some good amount of rest, and we are gathering our stuff together, and Mike's turning our room to day use, and we will be off in Denver. Right now, we're just waiting for probably the switch to be aligned in the correct position so we can get into the station. All right, so I'll see you when we back in.
The reason for our train backing into Denver was because the tracks at Denver come to a dead end, so therefore we had to be switched around on a Y. Soon afterwards, our train backed into Denver Union Station. We arrived there at 3:45 a.m. Yeah, not a really good time to end our trip, but we know the crew did their best to get us to our destination safe and sound.
All right, guys, we have made it here to Denver Union Station. I know it's early in the morning, but they still got us here safely. All right, guys, well, that concludes our trip for the California Zephyr today. We're gonna go have a holiday, enjoy our time in Denver, and I'm gonna be recording another movie on our way back on the westbound Zephyr. All right, thank you guys so much for. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time, this is Eric, the Train Fan 148, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.